Have you ever done something in your life and then you reflect back on it later and realize that it may be something that you were born to do? Yeah, I think I just did that. This is an interview, what you're about to see, with Bill Farmer, longtime loved manager at Fort Boonesboro. I don't know that anybody's interviewed him on camera, but you're going to see a little bit different interview style. Because of Bill's hearing loss, I wrote down the questions on a notepad you're going to see. And because of some medical issues, his voice is quite strained, and you have to really listen good. But I always enjoy my time with Bill. I hope you do too. Hope you enjoy the videos.
What was my childhood like? It was too short. It was really good. In the country, mom, dad, sister, and for quite a bit of time, my mother's father, my grandfather, lived with us, same house, and he did some really nice things for me, like taught me how to read and write before I ever went to school. Had plenty of room around, play and see what I
Tell me about that creek in those woods. That creek in those woods.
Yeah. I had two major locations for my recreation. One was the woods, and the other was the creek. And I didn't have to get too old before I was allowed to take a .22 rifle to the woods with me for squirrel hunting.
What'd you do when you went to school with that during squirrel season? What'd you do when you went to school during squirrel season?
Oh, that was another part of my childhood that was really interesting. Leave the house, cross the road, cross the creek, cross a little bit of land, go up a hillside, wooded, go over the hill, down out of the woods on that side, and come out down to the schoolhouse, where there were two school classrooms, 4 grades in each one. If squirrel season was in, I'd leave the house with my .22 rifle and squirrel hunt on the way, and stash my rifle in a convenient hollow log or something before I went into the schoolhouse. And come out in the afternoon and get my rifle out and go squirrel hunting all the way home. Squirrels, rabbits, same system. The difference was a .22 rifle or shotgun. My dad did not like it, and I wanted to use a shotgun for him. He always told me that he was not allowed to use a shotgun for him told me that they had to be shot in the head, preferably in the eye. So I was getting primed already for living history because I was living history a little bit there. And what really flipped the switch when I was in Scouts, there was one unit of an explorer post was at that same large thing, and their post theme was muzzleloading rifles. So they had it all set up. You wanted to try and shoot the muzzleloader. They had the range officer and everybody in there, safety covered all the way. So I got to fire a flintlock rifle. Oh, I was hooked deep. That is what did it. And it's been downhill ever since. Not true, not true. I did learn a whole lot. When I got old enough to go to work, initially that was 15 years old, I went to work, working on a boat dock on the Ohio River, 15 years old. Ah, then I went to, for a job, I went to a company called Cincinnati Milling Machine Company back then. They had sent scouts out to high schools in the area to talk to people who might have an interest in working for the company. And they were looking for students that had math courses. And I really had it locked in with mechanical drawing. So I graduated on a Wednesday, Thursday, some odd night. But Monday I went to work at Cincinnati Milling. And I worked there for a few years, not too long, because make a long story short, graduated from high school and in 65 and 66 I joined the Marine Corps, where I worked diligently to stay alive.
You're a veteran of Vietnam. You're a veteran of Vietnam.
I am a veteran. There was no other war to get into back then. You didn't have a war in every other little stand.
The only option.
Stand, who's it stand? Is that stand? No, that's some other. Anyway, I lived through that. I thought, came back with all my parts, no extra holes in the. Let's see. when the machine tool industry was taking a really hard blow, primarily from foreign competition, primarily from Japan. They were building machines that looked very similar to ours. But for years, they would let people go on tours through the plant, and you would see a group of them from Japan, and every one of them had a camera. And they'd take 3 steps and take 3 pictures, take 3 steps. Anyway, when they got to the point that they started having to lay people off, the first round, they didn't get the second round, if you didn't have 7, you didn't have 7 years at the company, you were gone. It didn't matter whether you were working in the engineering department, which is where I was trying to get to, or if you were up sweeping the floors. You didn't have 7 years. I stayed in the machine tool line of work, doing service work, machinery, rebuilding. Someone would have an older machine that was just starting to get worn out and send it into the plant, and we rebuild the whole machine, send it back to them. Or field service in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, 3 or 4 states doing field service work on the machine. And during that time, I met a guy that got me even more interested in muzzleloading, and specifically at Boonesboro. So, what was that like when I first got there? Pretty dull. Just another roadside tourist stop, more or less. Oh, let's stop and go look at the. And they were all looking for Davy Crockett.